What's up, YouTube? We are here today with the review for Married to Medicine. You guys, it is back, it is back, it is back. So we are back for season 9, episode number 1, you guys. Episode is titled Bless This Mess. So before we jump into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on my channel and you guys aren't subscribed, then I need you guys to do me that solid favor and to stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know you can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and also by turning on your post notifications. So with that out the way, you guys, without further ado, let's discuss Married to Medicine, shall we? All right, you guys, so the episode opens up. We see all the ladies, they're in their day-to-day lives. I'm excited that this show is back, but there are two people that I can do without. One of them is Quad. I'm not the biggest fan of Quad. By no means. I am not a Quad fan. And then the second one is that screaming banshee, Taya Bush Harris. Good God. But yeah, so this episode, we see everybody doing their day-to-day. Then we see Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone. And I was like, oh my God. I really, the last 2 seasons with Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone, with them being against addict, not being friends with each other, it was hard to watch. Because I've been watching Married to Medicine since season 1. And I'll be honest with you guys, season 1, I couldn't stand it. And the reason why I couldn't stand season 1 was because of Mariah and Quad. Because they were given fake Tamar vibes. But Simone and Jackie have found their way back to one another after that whole debacle with, you remember when Heavenly was talking shit about Cecil on Twitter. And then when Dr. Jackie said what she said about Buffy, and that drew a wedge between them. So, excuse me, y'all. They are back to being where they once were, in a good place. So we see them. They pull up to Dr. Jackie's house. It still throws me sometimes that Dr. Jackie is still with Lurch. Gosh, she is still with him. Like, I can't get over Curtis in that airport. His big, tall, lanky ass with that woman. But they get to the house. We see Curtis and Cecil there at the house. And Dr. Jackie's like, I thought you got rid of that car. It's a 1965 Gran Turismo, but he ain't got rid of it. He's like, I was trying to sell it to Cecil. So Dr. Jackie, they did a little commercial for the car with Dr. Simone, and it was cute. So then they went inside and they started having a conversation about, and it's like I said, it's just really good to see Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie back on one page, one accord. It's really nice. I'm really happy to see this. Because I've talked about it before, I talked about this all last season, with my best friend. She and I have been friends for coming on 17 years, and I just can't imagine something like that I can't imagine a wedge being driven between us like that to the point that we're not friends with each other. Like, it would be devastating to me. I know it would be devastating to her. So yeah, I'm so happy to see that these two have found their way. They've found their way back to each other, and the friendship is when you see them, it's as if they have not missed a beat. Because Dr. Jackie was talking about this procedure that she learned that I guess can help a woman with her orgasm. You take the blood and the platelets and you inject it into the, I think she said clitoris or something like that. And then she was talking about something with the penis, and Simone was like, girl, leave that alone. So we're going to pause here, you guys, and we're going to move forward. All right, you guys, so next up we got Dr. Heavenly. So we see Alora. You guys, I cannot believe that Alora is a teenager. Like, when Married to Medicine first started, she was just a little bitty something. And now she is a full, a young lady. Wow, right? So we see her, she's getting ready to go driving. She's not driving with her mom. She's going to be driving with her dad. He's going to be teaching her how to drive. So then Quad comes over, you guys. So Quad is back full time. It's going to take me some time to get used to seeing Quad full time, because honestly, when it comes to Quad, I think the only thing that I just don't care for with Quad is that persona that she puts on, that fake voice it's that voice. That's what the issue is for me with Quad, that voice. Because if you guys watched her when she was on Sister Circle before it got canceled, Quad never talked the way that Quad talks on Married to Medicine. Quad never talked like that on Sister Circle. And I watched Sister Circle here, and if I was at home during the day, I would watch that. You guys know, I told you guys I watch General Hospital. It comes on at 1 o'clock. And then after 2 o'clock, that would be Sister Circle's time to come on. and they was down for a full hour. You know, it would be one 30-minute show, then another one would come on after. No, yes, it was. No, hell, something like that. No, it would be Sister Circle, then Inside Edition, then Daily Blast Live, and that was down for a full hour. Okay, got it. But yeah, on Sister Circle, Quad didn't talk like that. So when Quad came there, you know, she was talking to Laura, oh, you waiting for your daddy to come. And, you know, she was talking about, you know, you learn how to drive. She said, I drove in a Toyota Camry or something like that. And Laura has a Range Rover. Like, damn. I mean, I would love to have had rich parents that could, nah. Because I mean, my first car, I didn't tear it up. But I did have quite a few accidents in that car. Quite a few of them were, two of them were my fault. The others were not my fault. But yeah. So Quad is talking to Heavenly about the fact that she has moved out of her townhome. Didn't her townhome have an elevator in the last season? That was a nice ass townhouse, but she's moved out of it. She bought a new house. She's renovating that house, and Heavenly was like, so you got any male suitor? She's like, nah. And she's like, she don't need one. She don't want no man. You know, she don't want a man to, you know, feel like, you know, he's doing something for her. I'm saying to myself, like, girl, if you got a man and the man want to pay for you, let him pay for your shit and you keep your money. Like, keep your money. Let that Negro spend all his ends on you, and then you stack your ends. But I mean, I get where she's coming from. So I'm just being facetious, by the way. So then they talk about Dr. Contessa. So Dr. Heavenly says that, you know, she hasn't talked to Dr. Contessa, and she doesn't know why she hasn't talked to Dr. Contessa. She says she hasn't talked to Contessa since New York. You know, New York was the reunion, so she hasn't talked to her since the reunion. And she says she doesn't know why. And I'm like, are you really being serious, Dr. Heavenly? You don't know why Contessa is not talking to you. You don't know why Contessa is not talking to you? That goddamn YouTube channel. I've watched Heavenly's YouTube here and there, so I have saw some clips of her YouTube channel. And that last season, I mean, because I think what Heavenly, she does sometimes, she goes live. So you guys, she gets the super chats, and she'll read them and she'll respond to them. Like, they kept showing this one particular clip where she was talking about Dr. Scott and Dr. Contessa's relationship. Now, we know last season that things looked very contentious between Dr. Scott and Dr. Contessa. Even we got to the reunion, and it still was tension. So Dr. Heavenly went on YouTube and she said what she said. But they showed a small snippet of it. Heavenly said a whole hell of a lot more. Like, Heavenly says, when she talks about, because Heavenly's not on live for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Heavenly be on live for quite some time. I've never saw one of her lives, but I have saw, you know, her when after the live is over. I have caught some of it, not a lot of it, but because you guys know I'm not a big live person, but I definitely have caught some of it. And the shit that she says, Heavenly, you know, if Heavenly did like what Candy, because Candy does speak on it. Now, I don't really watch Speak on It, but I do know from the times that I did watch Speak on It with Candy will either, if it's just Candy, she's basically talking about the episode. She's going over what we see in the episode, and she's giving some behind the scenes stuff as well. Because what Heavenly should do is what Candy did when it came down to Portia last season. She would speak on Portia, but as far as Portia's relationships, Candy kept that promise that, you know, when it came to Portia's relationships, she wouldn't speak in depth on it, but she would still talk about the episode. And I think that's what Dr. Heavenly could do, is going forward, when you do your reviews and whatnot, don't necessarily, you have to remember that these are still your co-workers and these are still your friends, and you got to be cognizant of what you say. And I think that's the issue when it comes to Dr. Heavenly. We know she's like word vomit, and she says what she says the first thing that's in her brain, and she doesn't take the time to think like, hey, how can I say this in a way that I'm saying it, but I'm not hurting my friend in the process. That is one of the reasons why I will not be going. That's one of the reasons why I don't go live, because I don't want to say anything that is negative offensive. I don't want to do that. So I try to be as politically correct as I can. That's why I'm a edit. I record these videos and I edit them. I know a lot of people like, it's so much easier to do live. I know people say that, but for my personality, I'd rather record this, and then if I go into editing, I'm like, oh, I don't want to say, I didn't want that to be said. I can cut that out, and no, you guys won't be any the wise unless I accidentally post, which I have done that before. I posted the video the unedited video, and I had to quickly delete that and upload the edited video. But I mean, so yeah, I think Dr. Heavenly, she can just work on a lot of things when it comes to her YouTube channel. Just make some minor tweaks. Like she was on Watch What Happens Live with Eva last night. And you know how Andy is. Andy is shady. Andy is messy. Andy asked her some questions. She was like, I don't know if I want to answer that. So she said, I'm not going to answer that question. So just take that with you back to your YouTube channel. But let's pause here, you guys, and we're going to move forward. So next up, you guys, we have Dr. Contessa. So Dr. Contessa, we see her outside and she's working. I'm like, okay, Dr. Contessa, get it in. So she is doing, she's going to be doing a bodybuilding competition. I was like, okay, haven't this happened before on yeah, Teresa, the Village Idiot did a bodybuilding contest. I can't remember which season it was of New Jersey, but Dr. Contessa is doing a bodybuilding contest, and I'm happy for her. She looking at Dr. Contessa in last night's episode, Dr. Contessa, she looked a lot happier than what she did last season. And it seems like Dr. Scott is supporting her this season. So I'm really happy, because you guys remember that the biggest issue with them was when she went back to school to get that degree and he wasn't supportive of that. And I think that's really what drove a wedge in between them, was that degree. And last season with him not wanting to do counseling, him saying he had a life coach, but then turned out he didn't have a life coach. So I'm hoping that they were going through the process. They brought up divorce. He didn't want to sell the house. So when he didn't want to do that, he decided that, he would go to therapy. So Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott, they are in a good space for now. We'll see how things progress as the season goes along. I hope that they stay in a good space, because when it comes to Married to Medicine, I love all the couples, all of them. They all have a different balance when it comes. One couple more than another has that balance with that couple. It just seems one-sided, and you guys can pretty much guess what I'm talking about. And I think I'm talking about her next. But let's pause here, you guys, and we're going to move forward. Nope. All right, you guys. So next up, let's talk about Quad. So like I said earlier in the review, Quad is back. I hope Quad has come back and she's humbled herself, because that was one of the things that I didn't like about Quad going into this is season 9, right? So season 8. So season 7, the thing that I didn't like about Quad in season 7 was the fact that, remember, that was the season when she was all about her sister circle girls, her sister circle this. Everything was about the sister circle girls, especially when was it her birthday party, when she got up there at her birthday party, and she thanked the sister circle class and not the Married to Medicine cast, who's been there for her since season 1. Like, they even, and I was actually pissed off at Quad that season, because basically they exile Mariah for you, and then you come back and do this shit to them. So yeah, I hope that Quad has humbled herself a lot, because like I said, season 7 of Married to Medicine, she was doing the absolute most. I need to get my eyebrows done this weekend, because they're a little bit too bushy and uneven. What was I talking about? Quad. So like I told you guys earlier, Quad has moved into a new house. Beautiful house. So her mom is staying with her, and also her nephew Mason. Now you guys remember Mason, that was the baby. He was a baby when we first met him. So the reason, man, and this scene was so heartbreaking. So the reason that Mason is staying with her is because now I actually do have this question. I didn't tweet this, but I thought about it after the episode went on. Actually, I thought about it in this particular scene. So Mason's father, you guys, her brother, he passed away at the age of 34. Wow, 34. Damn. I'll be 33 this weekend. Jesus. And that's the crazy thing. People are dying younger and younger. Like, I actually am going home this weekend. It's my birthday. Saturday is my birthday, but I'm also going home because there's a funeral of someone that I grew up with, in the neighborhood that my grandmother lives in. She is actually a cousin to my cousins. So she died, and I think she's a few years older than me. She might be like 30, 35, 36 years old, and she passed away, but she had been sick. So it just shows you how precious life is and how short life is, how short our time is on this earth. So his father died of heart failure, and the little boy broke down because Quan was, he's having some issues in school, and she said, "So what are you thinking about?" He said he's thinking about his dad, and he broke down crying, and her mom broke down crying. I was like, I know that is definitely hard on that child and her mother. Like, no parent wants to bury their own child. God. Whew. Pray for that family, you guys. What else? What else did I want to say? Oh, that was what I wanted to say. So I'm where the question I wonder is, where's his mother? So I don't with this cast, which I could follow them, but I don't follow anybody from Married to Medicine. I don't follow, and I with Married to Medicine, I can tell you guys that I do like these women, with the exception of Toya. Quan doesn't annoy me. That she annoys me, but not as much as that god dang on Toya Bush Harris. Toya annoys my spirit. Oh God, Toya annoys my spirit. So you guys, I'm gonna pause here and I'm gonna move forward. Speaking of Toya, you guys, let's go ahead and get Toya's ass out the way. So last season, my cousin, she texted me. I think it was before season 9 even premiered. Actually, it was just before season 9 premiered. So she texted me a picture of Toya's house. So last season when they filmed it, they had not announced it at the time, but that house was on the dang on market again. And I said, wait a minute, is that her current house that's on the market? She said yes. I was like, but that's her dream house. So Toya's dream house that she and Eugene built. They built that dream house. You remember she built that closet. Oh my God, that closet. That closet. Remember she remember that goddamn old closet. Remember, the reunion was the reunion set was her closet that year. Toya had a beautiful closet. My thing with Toya is oh God, Toya is a dingbat, number one. Toya is a dingbat. But my thing with Toya is, it's like, for me with Toya tries to live above her means. Do you not remember the IRS, the tax debt that you and Eugene had, that you guys had to pay? And y'all paid that off. So when y'all paid that off, actually, and then y'all downsized from the house that y'all lived in because of that tax debt. But okay, so then y'all got that tax debt paid off. Y'all went and built this house. Now this house has sold. Now you guys are living in a rental house in the same community. Now she's also bought another property that she's going to build a house on. Now see, Toya says the dumbest stuff. Like, this dingbat gonna sit here and say that house that she built, her dream house that you designed for you and your family, was not big enough for you and your family. But it's only 4 people. You, Eugene, Ashton, and Aiden, or whatever his name is. Ashton and whatever the other little boy's name is. It's 4 of y'all. Unless you and Eugene are finna go out and adopt some kids, that house was perfectly fine for y'all. Toya, you do know that the IRS is probably still watching you, right? I hope everything is on the up and up with you and Eugene. Girl, instead of having your dream house, you're gonna end up in the poorhouse. I don't know how Eugene can tolerate Toya. And I don't like that makes no sense to me when I literally just sit and think about it. It makes absolutely no logical sense. If it wasn't big enough for you, how many acres was that? That's the next question that I have. How many acres was that land? Why not expand? Why not build? Why not build on it? And she's talking about that the house, the new house that they're living in, it has an elevator, and the old house didn't. Why didn't you build one? Like Toya, I don't even know if Toya has common sense, to be quite honest with you guys. I don't even know if Toya has the common sense that God gave a mule. Like, I really don't know if Toya has common sense. And then when she was screaming, I was like, this is what I did not miss. I just do not. I don't miss screaming Toya, and I don't miss drunk Toya. And they're both horrible. Toya is a dingbat. Like, why didn't you just, literally, why didn't you just expand on your house? That's what that's what a normal person would do. Instead of selling your house, a normal person would say, you know what? If me and my family are outgrowing this house and we got a lot of land, let's add on to the house. That's going to cost less than building a brand new house in that subdivision. So what, that house was like over $2 million, right? And I'm pretty positive y'all didn't even get what you, it just said sold. I don't even know what Eugene and Toya got for that house, but I bet you it's not nearly as much as they put into it. But hey, I pray for Eugene. I really pray for that man, because his wife is going to drive him into a poorhouse. A poorhouse. But let's pause here, you guys, and wrap up the episode. So, you guys, Anila, she is back. I didn't dislike Anila last season. I thought Anila was just annoying, especially when it... But Anila and Toya were both annoying me last season. But I'm cool that Anila's back. I'm cool that she's back. I know people had an issue with Anila because of the fact that, you know, of her being of Indian descent, and the fact that, you know, Mariah wanted to show more of her life, and Mariah is no longer on the show. I know I saw a lot of people saying last night that Mariah's presence is missed. I don't miss it. I just told you guys, I don't hate Mariah, so I don't want nobody to be in the comments like, well, you hate Mariah. I don't hate Mariah. I just wasn't a fan of Mariah. I'm not a fan of Mariah, and I'm not a fan of Quad. I told you 3 people that I'm not a fan of: Mariah, Quad, and Toya. Coincidentally, they all were wives of doctors. Are wives of doctors. But hey, it is what it is. So Anila and Kieran, they're officially in their home. Now, I will say, with Anila, the good thing about Anila that I like is Kieran. I like Kieran because Kieran keeps it 100% real. He keeps it real. So they moved into their house, and you know, Anila talking about how much she loves it. Kieran, he like, I regret this house, because it went from over $1 million to $2 million to 2.2, then to 2.5. I'm like, damn. What the hell did y'all do? What cost that much money? Jesus. Y'all know I'm ready. Y'all know I'm starting the process, going towards the end of this year and the beginning of next year, to have a house built. Oh God, listening to people talk about building a house, it kind of scares me just a little bit, because I don't know what to expect. But I'm optimistic. So I'm not pessimistic. I'm optimistic. But I'm just like, damn. Do I really want to do this? But yes, I do. I do want to do this. I don't want to live in another apartment ever again. After this year, I can't do apartments. So they're having a housewarming party. Now, when they did this first one with their family and friends, and they brought that cow, I was like, oh, no, 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 no. Bet that cow would not come in. And then when they brought the cow in and he went out the door and he used the bathroom, I was like, oh, no. Who is going to clean up the horse poo? I mean, the cow poo. Ugh. I know people use that as fertilizer, but, oh, God, I just cannot understand. Ugh. When people use cow manure as fertilizer, it stinks. You can tell what it is. Ugh. Mulch. I cannot stand the smell of mulch anywhere. God, the scent of mulch. Disgusting. So we then see everyone, they show up to the housewarming party. We see Heavenly. She brought, I think this is going to be the friend of the show. Her name is Audra, I believe. She's married to a dentist. He went to Howard. I didn't catch his name, so I'll get it later. So the thing that threw me was the fact that Toya was late, 2 hours late to this party, but you and Anila live in the same subdivision, and then you came in the golf cart. Okay, Toya, Contessa. It was an Indian themed party. You came dressed like an Egyptian. You missed the mark. You way off the mark. So, Anila, when Anila said that she got her entire home, almost her entire home furnished by blogging, baby, give me the tips. I need the tips on that because I like stuff for the free. Like, I'll do a post on Instagram, YouTube, wherever you want me to put it. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you want me to put it. If it's free, give it to me. But you guys do know you guys do know that people have reached out to me to do stuff, but it's just stuff that I'm like, because somebody reached out to me about doing a teleprompter. I mean, I just use my notes right here. I don't really need a teleprompter. Actually, you know what? I might look into that when I move into my apartment. I might look into the teleprompter, but yeah. So doing YouTube and stuff, people do reach out to you to, and they do want to send you stuff to, test it out and see if you like it, affiliate stuff. But yeah. So at the party, Quad was talking to Contessa, and she asked Contessa, did she want to sit down and have a conversation with Heavenly? This is not the time nor the place to have a conversation with Heavenly, and Contessa said no, and I didn't blame her. I don't blame her. So then you got the men, they were sitting talking. They were talking about Contessa and Scott's relationship. And, some of the men think that they are experts, like Cecil and even Dr. Damon. Also, I do want to point out Dr. Heavenly. So, on Watch What Happens Live, I just hate when Heavenly does this, call women hoes and stuff like that. I just hate when she does that, when she calls women hoes. Any woman that's in Dr. Damon's face speaking to him, she calls him a hoe. And she's like, oh, hoe is just like a bitch. No, it is not. I have never called any of my, and you guys know I have my best friend. She's a woman. I've never called my best friend a hoe. I ain't never called her a hoe. I have never called her a hoe in the 17 years of our friendship. That is not a term of endearment. I have never called my best friend a hoe. I have never called my female cousins hoes. I may say, we call each other. We have some little inside things that we say to each other. Like me and my cousins, we call each other bedhead. We call each other bedhead. Because one night these two helpers called me to come pick them up. I'm like, what the hell was y'all? And then I'm like, look at your head. Your hair, just all over your head. Bedhead. And my best friend, we have some nicknames for each other, but now we just call each other by our names. When we were teenagers, we had some nicknames for each other, but I ain't never called my best friend or anybody a hoe. And I'm sorry, I like Dr. Heavenly, but when it comes to Dr. Heavenly, she has insecurity issues, and I wonder if Dr. Heavenly's insecurity issues go back to when she was bigger. I just wondered that. But hey, that's all I got for this episode. If I missed anything, put it in the comment section below and we will discuss it. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and share the video, guys. And until the next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, you guys. Wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.